Friends, if I want to watch super hit movie Colombian in English, then you must like this video. If you are visiting our channel for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Friends, in today's video, the movie we're going to talk about is called Colombian. We will talk about what this movie is and where you can watch it. All the interesting about this movie in today's video I'm going to tell you. I also going to give you all the information on which I request you friends to watch this video till the ends. So let's start the video. Colombiana, 2011 French-English language action thriller film co-written and produced by Luc Besson and directed by Olivier Megaton. The film stars Zoe Saldaña too, with supporting roles by Michael Vartan, Cliff Curtis, Lennie James, Callum Blue, and Jordi Mollà. The film is about Catalea, a 9-year-old girl in Colombia whose family is killed by a drug lord. 15 years later, a grown Catalea seeks her revenge. The film had a generally unfavorable reception from critics, but Saldaña's performance and action sequences were praised. It grossed $63.4 million against a $40 million production budget. Plot. In 1992, in Bogotá, Colombia, drug baron Don Luis Sandoval sends his enforcer Marco and a gang of armed men to kill his gang member Fabio Restrepo and his family because Fabio has defied him by trying to leave his prolific drug crime activity behind. Fabio gives his 9-year-old daughter Catalea a smart media computer memory card loaded with information on Don Luis's business and tells her it's her passport. He also gives her the address of her uncle Emilio in Chicago, Illinois, who will take care of her. Finally, he leaves her with her mother's Catalea orchid necklace. After Fabio and his wife Alicia are gunned down, Catalea escapes and seeks asylum at the U.S. Embassy. She is granted passage to the United States after handing over the memory card to embassy staff. Although American officials attempt to transfer her into the foster care system, Catalea tracks down her uncle in Chicago and asks him to train her as a killer. 15 years later, in 2007, a grown Catalea has become an accomplished assassin. Emilio serves as her broker, providing her with contracts. With each murder she commits, she leaves her signature, the Catalea flower, hoping to one day attract the attention of Don Luis so she can take her revenge. When Emilio finds out about Catalea's intentions and that she has been targeting men connected to the Don, he begs her to stop to avoid endangering the lives of his own family, but she admits that she does not care about the risk to his family. While she is spending the night with her American boyfriend, Danny Delaney, he takes a photo of her sleeping and then shows it to a friend, who then decides to run a background check on Catalea, which alerts the FBI. Meanwhile, FBI agent James Ross is working to identify the killer behind more than 20 unsolved murders, all of which have Catalea orchids left behind. He gets a pin on Catalea's photo from the background check and orders her arrest, but Catalea escapes and reaches out to Emilio, only to find that she has indeed caused the brutal slaughter of Emilio and his entire family. She confronts Ross at his home and threatens to kill him and his entire family, forcing him to reach out to CIA agent Steve Richard, who she knows is sheltering Don Luis from the law in exchange for his cooperation with American authorities. When she threatens to slaughter Richard's family, Richard gives her the Don's location. Don Luis learns that Catalea is still alive and organizes his men to kill her, but she ambushes them first and wipes out the entire gang, including Marco. Don Luis flees and swears revenge. Catalea, having planted her specially trained attack dogs in his escape vehicle, orders them to eat Don alive. Danny is interrogated by Ross. Catalea calls him from a payphone. They talk briefly before Ross grabs Danny's phone, but Catalea hangs up, leaving town on a bus. Cast Zoe Saldaña as Catalea, a contract killer who seeks revenge when her drug-dealing father and mother are murdered by their criminal associates. Jordi Mollà as Marco, Don Luis's main enforcer and the man who executed Catalea's parents while she watched. Lennie James as Ross, FBI special agent tasked with investigating Catalea's assassinations. Amanda Stenberg as 10-year-old Catalea. Callum Blue as Richard, CIA agent who arranged Don Luis's relocation and cooperation. Cynthia Addai Robinson as Alicia, Catalea's mother who was killed along with her husband Jesse Borrego as Fabio, Catalea's father and a drug business partner of Don Luis, who was ordered killed when he tried to quit the criminal life. Ofelia Medina as Mama, Emilio's mother, Angel Garnica as Pepe, Emilio's father Sam Douglas as Willie Woogard, Graham McTavish as head U.S. Marshal Warren, Max Martini as Agent Robert Williams. Beto Benitez as Don Luis, a Colombian drug lord who ordered the killing of Cataleya's family, then cut a deal with the CIA. Michael Vartan as Danny Delaney, Cataleya's boyfriend. An artist, he knows Cataleya as Jennifer Cliff Curtis, as Emilio Restrepo, Cataleya's uncle and professional killer, who raises and trains her after her parents were killed. Production. The script for Colombiana was based on Mathilda, which was originally written by Luc Besson as a sequel to Léon, the Professional. After a disagreement with the Gaumont Film Company on how to proceed with the film, Besson and director Olivier Megaton reworked the script into a standalone film. Filming began in August 2010 in locations including Chicago, New Orleans, Mexico, and France. The film was produced by Besson's Europa Corp company, and the script was written by Besson and Robert Mark Kamen. David Martin Jones, in an essay written for Senses of Cinema, stated that the film was likely to have been perceived by audiences to be an American Hollywood production, noting that aping the look of a Hollywood genre film with a non-US twist had been used in previous European films. Reception. Critical response. On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 28% of 107 critics' reviews are positive, with an average rating of 4.9/10. The website's consensus reads, Zoe Saldana has the chops, but she's taken out by erratic and sloppy filmmaking. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 45 out of 100. Based on 22 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. Christy Lemire of the Associated Press reviewed Colombiana, writing that the director of La Femme Nikita and The Fifth Element serves as co-writer and producer here, but this is very much a spin-off of his brand, a continuation of the kind of stereotype and gravity-defying characters he's made his name on. Colombiana feels more hammy and muscular though, but knowingly so, and that's what makes it solid. Late summer escapist, Betsy Sharkey of the Los Angeles Times wrote, This B-movie blast of bloody blam blam is the latest chapter in the Luc Besson book of badly bruised lovelies who are better not crossed. What he began in 1990 with Nikita, followed with Léon in 94 and 97's The Fifth Element, the last written with Robert Mark Kamen who co-wrote Colombiana with Besson. He refines in Colombiana. Claudia Puig of USA Today wrote, This is a showy flower of an action film. Saldaña doesn't get much of a chance to emote, but her action skills blossom. Jordan Mincer of The Hollywood Reporter said that there are guilty pleasures to be had in this frenzied B starring Zoe Saldaña, who gives an acrobatic performance that makes the overcooked material watchable. Controversy. A non-profit group called Por Colombia criticized the film, saying that it stereotyped Colombia in a negative way. Carlos Macias, president of Colombia, claimed that the film is proof of a total lack of creativity in Hollywood. When asked about the situation in an interview, Saldaña said, Shame on them? I don't know. I wish I knew how to address stupid, unintelligent comments, but I don't. I'm not a stupid person. The following year, in an essay published in Senses of Cinema, David Martin Jones focused on a different aspect of the South American character, believing that the film provided a different perspective concerning immigration and international wealth inequality. He notes that a character from the global South wreaks havoc on the wealthy and corrupt in the global North, offering a different perspective than is usually seen in a Hollywood blockbuster. Box office Colombiana grossed $36.7 million domestically, United States and Canada, and $26.8 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $63.5 million against a budget of $40 million. It opened at number 2 in the first of its 3 consecutive weeks in the top 10 at the domestic box office. Sequel. At the 2015 Cine Europe, when the production house EuropaCorp announced upcoming films, it mentioned that Colombiana 2 was in development. While Saldaña responded to an interviewer in 2017 that she wouldn't mind reprising her role as Cataleya, as of 2024, no such sequel exists. Author extraordinaire and scholar of violent fiction, Matt Funk, has recently lamented the loss of mass appeal of crime cinema in 2011. A part of me wants to agree with him, but another part wants to blame the lack of quality of Hollywood's action blockbusters for this regrettable situation, and the latter part is talking louder to my conscious brain. I don't really care about things blowing up all over my screen if there's no John McClane walking through the wreckage to be there on time to pick up Holly and the kids. I had high hopes that Colombiana wouldn't buy into cheap thrills after seeing the trailer. I always fancy female action movies, as they are a nice change of pace from the male angst-ridden bullet fests I usually watch. Despite being technically sound, Colombiana did not live up to my expectations at all. Seeing who was behind it now, I wonder why I got my hopes up in the first place. Colombia is an awful place to be a criminal. In Olivia Megaton's movie, working in Bogota's drug market is like working public function in the US. You're more likely to be on somebody's payroll than to become Scarface. It's a little racist, but I can deal with that. Catalea Restrepo, Saldaña, learns this the hard way when her parents are murdered by the henchmen of Don Luis, Beto Benítez, back when she was a child. That moment defined her whole existence. She goes on a U.S. exile to her uncle Marco Mollà's place and learns the quirks of being an assassin. By the time she turns 24, she is a stone-cold, highly skilled professional who works for her uncle, but she is devoured by her need for vengeance. All of her life has been building up that moment where she would cross path with Don Luis again. I have two main problems with Colombiana. First of all, Catalea Restrepo isn't exactly a female protagonist, as much as she's a male fantasy. She's sexy, athletic, performs killings worthy of Sam Fisher's admiration, fucks without calling back, or almost, and devotes her life to kicking ass and taking names instead. Secundo, this movie really messes with my suspension of disbelief. While the action is slick and well filmed, there were many of those wait-a-minute moments where my good intentions towards Colombiana were seriously challenged. For example, that escape she made from Don Luis's goon, through the streets of Bogotá, where child Catalea, Amandla Stemberg, looked like an Olympic hopeful for the gymnastics team, more than your average privileged 9-year-old. I can believe a 9-year-old to be savvy and streetwise, but being actually more savvy and streetwise than seasoned killers that are plot relevant? Come on, it's bad, and it's just one example. It's sad and very fucking frustrating, because Colombiana has its moments. Some scenes gripping and beautiful. For example, towards the beginning of the movie, Catalea is going on a job in Mexico where she was to eliminate a fraudulent banker type. It's one of the best filmed action sequences I've seen in 2011. The way it's scripted, the way the tension goes up, it's brilliant. There are few of those scenes in Colombiana, showing that this story had potential. I know I'm asking much of the Olivier Megaton, Luc Besson team who has provided us great movies like The Transporter 3. While Besson used to write good movies, The Fifth Element, the Taxi series, the last decent script he wrote was for Taken in 2008, and the key word here is decent. I can't really recommend you to watch Colombiana, but if you're caught with it in a social situation, it's a frustrating viewing, but it has its moments. It's technically sound and visually beautiful, but the script is plagued with most issues that have been plaguing Hollywood action scripts since the beginning of the 21st century. Movies like this won't trigger an action crime film renaissance. Distributed by Europa Corp Distribution. Release dates July 27, 2011 in France, August 26, 2011 United States, September 9, 2011 United Kingdom. Running time 108 minutes. Country FR. Languages English, Spanish. Budget $40 million. Box office $63.4 million. So guys, this is their view of Colombiana movie and some information about it. How do you like our today's video? Please let us know by commenting, and if you like this video, please like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.